Hey guys, welcome back. I think this week I created my first mechanical machine, all 3D printed, except for the spring. So let's get into it. Now this week I really dug deep on trying to figure out how to make flippers flip back and forth with a button push from the sides, okay, for my pinball machine. Now, I did have a nice example to work with. I did finish the Mission Space Lego pinball machine, and it's pretty cool looking. I will have to say I was impressed with this build. It took me maybe 2 days to finish, and the kids had a lot of fun checking it out. And on the back here, it does have a pretty decent design with using 2 springs on each side. So you press the button here, it depresses a spring and then pushes back that force. And there's a gear in here that as I press it forward, that gear turns, which then, of course, turns the flipper. And I like that design. And I was thinking to myself early on, you know, can I really do that with 3D printing? And at first, I was kind of doubting myself. And so I went and bought at Menards a threaded steel rod, and I thought to myself, okay, I probably should use this and maybe cut it to a certain length and then screw it into a button and then somehow, you know, maybe buy some gears, maybe even buy some solenoids in here. I could also do this electronically. So I was going down that path at first, but then after I used this little pinball machine from Lego, you know what, I'm gonna challenge myself. That's what this channel is all about, is pushing the boundaries, trying to challenge what we're capable of doing. And so this week I built my first ever mechanical machine, and I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest. Now, again, I've never done this. I'm not a mechanical engineer by trade or education. I'm just learning as I go, and I'm taking what I call baby steps, guys. This is the key to engineering, is taking baby steps. One step at a time. Try it out and see if it'll work. So the machine I built, I think, is called a spring-loaded rack and pinion machine, something like that. I talked to ChatGPT and it gave me a few ideas of what it was called. But essentially, the springs are gonna move these teeth back and forth, which are gonna spin another gear, which will then flip the flippers back and forth. So how I went through this process, again, I'm not a mechanical engineer, is I just took it baby steps, one step at a time. So the first thing I needed was kind of a housing that would be the full print. Okay, this is a subsection of the cabinet. And then I've got the button housing here that goes in here. It gets screwed in. I don't have an extra screw to show you guys, but I can kind of show you what I did have to do. So the buttons now, I did change the buttons up. They look more like a mushroom. And I kind of took a design from Lego, that idea. I thought it really went well. You could tell where the flipper button was with your finger. You could find it without even looking at it. So that goes into the housing here, and that goes back and forth. And then on the bottom of the button, there's a threaded hole there. Okay, and I experimented with different threads, different sizes. And I came up with this thread about this size here. This is probably maybe a little less than 10 millimeters. And it fit really well. And so I can slide this into the housing and actually thread this to the button here, okay? But this was the first design. Here's the rod with the thread. And then here, I added some teeth to the rod, okay? That was the first step. And then obviously this wasn't gonna have the spring. This was just a first attempt to make sure this was gonna thread to the button itself. And then after that, I added kind of an attachment, a little tiny arm with a cylinder here that I could take a spring and put on top of the cylinder, kind of slide it in nice and smooth. And then you only can have this cylinder be half the size of this, because this needs to depress, okay, back and forth, back and forth. And so this has to actually, the next step I had to figure out was, okay, I need to stop this spring. I need to be able to have something here where my thumb is to where this can press up against, back and forth, back and forth. And so I had to think about, okay, what can I use? Well, the cabinet is something I can use to stop the spring, to push against, right? And so I added this little block to the bottom of the cabinet, and there's a little threaded hole on that block so that I can actually screw something to keep the spring aligned into where the spring won't pop out and fly out in this cabinet and get lost, okay? And I'll show that on the final build here. And then another thing I noticed as well as I was building this rod apparatus was it was kind of wiggly, right? It was wiggling. And so I added an alignment block here with like a 1 or a 2 millimeter alignment slot here to where the rod would actually stay in place here. So I added that. I also added a block up here to kind of keep the rod from turning back and forth. Okay, so a couple little things I learned as I was going through this one step at a time, one print at a time. Okay, I need to add this, I need to add this. And you know, before you know it, a few iterations and a few hours later, this was the final design. Okay, so here is the rod. Okay, the rod's right here, going back and forth. And then here's this, on this side is a little container for the spring so that the spring doesn't fly out. Okay, as you can see, it's going into that little container there. There's a hole there, okay, that cylinder. And it's working out pretty well. You know, there's a little bit of wiggle room with this as well. I could probably come up with different ways of maybe tightening that up some, but overall it does come back to its position, and I think that'll work. Okay, so this really smooth, coming right back. I'm really happy with it. My kids were banging away at this, and that seems to be working pretty well. It is a little bit of a pain to get all this stuff screwed on and aligned right. I did make a second version of this where this block here, I did trim it a little bit because this little piece was a pain to screw into this stopper block here. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this got set up, or how this was engineered. So I think I'm going to go with this for now. There's still a lot of testing to be done. And so the second step after this is I can apply the play field to this and get some flipper action essentially. So I did that next. So I'm going to show you that. So the thing I had to do was I had to create a second piece here. This is the round gear that's going to turn as these flippers go back and forth, or as these button rods go back and forth. And as this moves, this will move just like that, okay? And then, so what's going to happen is, this is my first section of playfield. This is 100 millimeters wide, and then I added 2 holes here, okay? And I can take this threaded, this gear here with a thread on top, put it through the holes, and then take a flipper button. Now I don't have a flipper printed yet. I didn't have time to print one, but I took my, my buttons with the same thread size, which I'm gonna use for the flippers, and I can screw this on top. So now I've got this way of spinning the flipper buttons essentially. Think of it as flipper rods, or not flipper rods, but the flippers themselves. And I can take my play field, I gotta line it up here. It snaps here, let me get this in here. Oh, come on, there we go. So I get it snapped here, I gotta push it forward. That's how this works. And now, you can kind of see him moving there. It works. Now, a couple of things I'm gonna have to do is, if this gear ever kind of misses the gear teeth, essentially, if I have a slip in the gear action here, then the flipper would be misaligned. So what I'm gonna have to do next is maybe on the flipper, I'm gonna have to create some sort of track here, like maybe a quarter track, a quarter of the circle here, a track to where I'll have something sticking up to keep this aligned to where it never misaligns. So even if I get a slip in the gear here, the track would hold the flippers in place and never make them out of alignment. So there's still some challenges to this design, but overall, I think this will work. Again, you know, I was going down the path of like maybe using solenoids to push it electronically. So I would maybe apply voltage or amperage to that solenoid. I was going down this crazy path of engineering it with electronics, but I wanted to go old school. I wanted to do as much 3D printing as I can. Now, in the future, though, I am going to add electronics to my pinball machine because I think I can be creative with games and maybe get some electricity to get bumpers to push the ball and all that. Because, you know, this Lego 3D printed, or not 3D printed, but this Lego pinball machine, it's cool and all, but to be honest, it's kind of boring. I mean, there's like 2 spinners here, 1 ramp, and there's really no scoring. It's all pretend, which is still kind of fun. Here, let me get this going. But overall, I mean, you get kind of bored with it. I mean, it's only going to play so many different things. And I want to make mine really dynamic. And the way this thing works is as you push this gravity base thing, the little space guy is going to rescue the little space baby. There. That's the game, essentially. That's your points to rescue the baby. But it's still kind of fun. I really enjoy Lego and the creativity they had with this. But I want to have lights that actually really light up, and maybe a 5-inch LCD screen with a Raspberry Pi embedded in the back, and then I can have like bumpers and ways for the ball to push against things. I might really get some solenoids up here in the play field, the more fun area. But the flippers, I want to stick with mechanical because you kind of get that feel too. You kind of feel what's going on, the weight of the pinball itself with the flippers. I think that's an important factor too. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. I hope I can get, you know, kind of the action, the feel that this has, because it is mechanical. I think Lego did a great job. And so yeah, that's where I'm at, and it's been kind of fun, challenging all at the same time, and it's my first machine I've ever built from scratch with 3D printers, so I think it's a lot of fun. So if you don't think you can do it, you can. You just got to take your time, take the baby steps, 1 step at a time, and this is the example. I'm not a mechanical engineer, and I did it, so I think you can do it too. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, improvements I can make to this mechanical design. I'd love to get more ideas and even make some adjustments to this, because this may not even work. I don't even know. I'm just going to have to keep playing around with it and see if it can actually push a pinball up the playfield when I get that all built. So we'll see what happens. So anyways, if you guys could, like and subscribe to the channel. And hey, let me know if you like this content, if you like this journey of me building this pinball machine. I think it's a lot of fun, but you guys let me know in the comments. So if you guys could, take a look at my previous video, and everyone have a good day. Later.